What's going on, everybody? Christopher back again with the 100 Ways to Live podcast, where we discuss all things fitness and lifestyle related. My guest today is an IFBB men's physique pro, a physical trainer with a background in nutrition, and the owner of the Bay Area's hottest gym, The Lab. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Nezami.
What's up, man?
Thank
What's
you
up,
for
guys?
having me, man. Thank you for the opportunity, bro. Like I just said before we started, I want to get right to it.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Bro, so while doing research, the usual, you were serving tables at Outback.
Yes. Yeah, for a long time.
Okay, so so I just want to talk about your mentality. What were you doing there? Like mentally, like were you just going through the repetition of life? Did you have goals? Like what was life like for you then?
So, man, Outback, that's crazy. Like, I spent 10 years there. And
Okay.
it was almost like I was trapped in a way,
Okay.
right? Like, I knew it wasn't my end goal. Like I knew I loved the job though. I loved serving tables. I was bartending. I was managing. Like people come in, you get to see people all the time and get to talk to them. It was a fun job. And I was, one of the managers. So I was hiring a bunch of people.
Okay, so you weren't just lower level busting
I
tables.
moved my way up, right? But in the
okay,
beginning, I started out as a host, and then they took me to takeaway, and then bartending, and then managing. So I did all of it. So I kind of just moved from the bottom, being there 10 years,
10 years.
So I did it all. But on the way up, like, you just go through a lot. It's crazy to think about, like, where I started from and, like, where I got to. But managing, I just loved it. I loved the job. It was a fun job. That's why I stuck with it as long as I did.
10 years. All right. So would you say a lot of your character traits today, you had them then? Or were you like, what were you growing into this since then? Like, what was that like? Like, let me say this. So you have an abundant mindset. You're somebody who I believe you have an abundant mindset. Even sitting down doing this with me, you pour a lot into people's cups. And I think that through doing that, you're also pouring into your cup because those people give it back.
Yeah.
Were you like that then?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think when I was younger, I was very shy, but serving tables, like you're walking up to a table, a group of people you don't even know.
Right.
And you got to talk to them and you got to take their order and you don't know who they are. They could be in a good mood, bad mood.
Yeah.
You don't know. So you kind of learn people's energies. You kind of figure out how you're supposed to talk to them.
Yeah.
You're able to prioritize, like, I got to grab the ketchup. I got to grab this. I got to grab that. So you're learning a lot of people skills while you're serving tables.
True. You're practicing.
So I tell people all the time, man, if you've ever want a job, especially when you're in college and you're doing that kind of stuff, serving's the best job because you're constantly talking to people and you get better at it.
And the tips.
And the tips is great.
The tips.
Especially when you're young, it's like cash right then and there and you get to have it. So it was great. I mean, I love serving, but it helped me a lot to become like the person I am today.
You are today. Okay, that's why I wanted to touch on that. Okay, so you're dating someone that works there. Does she work there with you?
Yeah, she was working there with me at the time. Yeah.
So she breaks up with you.
Yeah. Man, you really did your research. Yeah, she
No, because I feel like, breakups. All right, so you're 28. I want to highlight his age at this time too because it matters for the sake of the story. So she breaks up with you. You guys stayed co-workers at the time, or did she leave after that?
She actually left like a few weeks later, I would say. Like it was probably like maybe like a couple weeks we tried to like work together and it didn't work. And she dipped off.
But shout out to her, whoever she is, because whether she knows this or not, she was a pivot in your story.
Oh, big time.
Right?
Oh,
so
huge.
shout out to her.
Thank you so much. Like
I hope she's doing well wherever she's at.
She's great. She got kids, she's married, but no, for sure. She helped me. That was
you
like
needed that.
Oh yeah.
You needed that. All right. So would you say the breakup would that be your low point in your story?
100%.
Okay. Yeah. So mentally, tell me what the breakup does to you mentally.
Man, I was broken. Well, it was one thing is why she broke up with me. It's like, you're a server. Like my parents don't think you can like afford, getting a house and, basically taking care of me. My mom and dad want me to be in a better place. And I understand that, right? Like we're going to have kids one day, right?
Yeah.
And we
I have one already. So.
Okay, you have one.
Yeah.
And you want them to one day date somebody who is...
Take care of them. Especially your daughter too.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
I get it, right? I'm a server. I'm 28 years old. I'm not really doing much with my life, right? But at that time, I'm having a great time. I get to go out at the end of the night. The restaurant don't open till 1, 2 p.m. So I could sleep in. And I loved it. All my friends were working there. It was great, right?
Okay, but so would you say you depressed? Because this is a hit to your ego.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, like all men, most of us have some form of ego. But what did this do to your ego though? Just like she pretty much told you wasn't shit.
She broke me, bro. Like she broke me to the point where like, okay, first I'm not making enough money for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that hurts. As a man, you're like, oh, I'm not making enough. I'm not good enough for her. Her parents don't think I'm good enough for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you know how heartbreaks are. It's like, what's wrong with you? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? You start self-evaluating.
Right.
You're trying to figure out what I need to do to be a better person.
Yeah.
And then you start figuring out, you got kind of get angry a little bit. You're like, all right, I'm going to prove to her, like, I'm going to show her
That's
what's
great
up.
because where I want to take it. This is what sent you to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're 28, bro. That's late in the game.
Yeah, late in the game. I was late.
So you start going to the gym. You go by yourself. Like, what is this like? You remember what this was like for you?
So when I was going to the gym, but I wasn't taking the gym serious.
So,
And I definitely wasn't like bodybuilding. I wasn't competing or doing anything like that.
Okay.
So I became a trainer. So I'm like, all right, you know what?
Just for the money? This was just to get away from Outback?
Yeah, it was like, get out of Outback, do something else.
That's more respectable.
More respectable, right? Because at that time, you know, the owner of 24 Hour, he's the vice president of 24 Hour Fitness. He was a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically was like, oh, I'll help you. I'll move you up. Like, don't worry, just come work with us.
Mm-hmm.
Train a little bit. You know, get your feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll move you up in the company. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you know, I can move up to the corporate world and do well with that company, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was my goal, was like, all right, let me get out of Outback. Let me go somewhere else. Let me do something else. I started training.
Mm-hmm.
And then training obviously started going, I'm training. Maybe I should start doing the bodybuilding thing.
Okay.
Right, let me kind of get into this.
Hold on. I got to bag you up. 'Cause you just bypassed something that I found out. So not only were you training, you were placed in a position to train someone very important.
Yeah.
Who was that?
The vice president of 24 Hour Fitness.
Okay, so that's the vice president of the location you're at, or 24?
No, he's 24 Hour Fitness's vice president.
Vice president
yes,
across the board.
Across the board.
So you start training him.
Yes. And this was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because if I mess up, it's on everybody.
All right, so how long after you got there did you start training him?
I think I was there for like 6 months. It was actually
That's
really
quick.
fast.
That's so quick. Yeah. All right, so 6 months of training. How good would you say you were as a trainer at this point?
I feel like I was pretty good. I wasn't like polished or anything like that, but I feel like with the serving, I was already good at talking.
The people skills
I had
down.
The people skills.
Okay.
I could read people. I could read the room. But I'm not gonna lie, I was like super intimidated. And they pulled me in the office. They're like, "Look, we're trusting you with this, and like you can't mess up, because if you mess up, it looks bad for the whole company, right?"
Yeah.
So I remember he went to UCLA, and like I started doing my research, kind of trying to figure him out, right? What kind of music he likes, this, that, and the other. I brought a boom box. I remember, because you know the 24 plays their own music, so I bought music that he likes, right?
Yeah.
And then I had heard he likes music and things like that. So I had a towel ready, I had the water ready, I had everything, right? I got there an hour early, set everything up, made sure I was on point, you know, because I'm like, this can really like elevate my career.
It could.
So it was crazy.
You're training him. How long would you say you trained him? How long did this last?
About a year.
So about a year. And what experience would you say that you gained just in your total package? Because you get the people skills from Outback.
Yeah.
Now you're getting the personal training experience and just being punctual, you know, being professional from training this person. So now, what would you say you are by the end of training him?
A lot better at showing up on time.
Exactly.
Right? like, and I'm still bad at it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like great at it.
Yeah. No.
You know, my friends are always giving me a hard time because they're like, "You're always late," and I'm like, "Good things come to those that wait."
Bro,
you know what
listen,
I mean?
you got a lot going on, dog.
Yeah.
So from there is when the bodybuilding starts happening.
Yes.
And you took your first flight at 28?
28. Yep. 28 years old.
It was off topic. Were you afraid of
I was
planes?
scared of flying, man.
No.
I hated it. No, like I was deadly. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I'm so afraid of heights. Not anymore. I've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I would have to take like, no joke, they would line up shots. All my friends, everybody that's watching this that knew me from being younger, when I went to high school with me, college, and they all knew about this, right? Like they all still make fun of me. I would have to like get seriously drunk to get onto a plane to be able to fly.
How you make it through security drunk?
Dude, you get to the airport early. You
Oh,
do
they
all your
start
check-in,
shot.
you take
No,
your shots like a bar.
okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Damn, you in there firing them.
My brother's wedding was in Hawaii, and I told him I'm not coming. He's like, "What do you mean you're not coming?" I'm like, "I'm not flying to Hawaii. I can't do it. I can't make
that's over
flight."
water too. So
It's over water. It's his wedding. It's my brother.
you can't miss that, bro.
I can't. So I
You
trust
made
me.
it. You got drunk, showed
about
up.
10 shots in, I got there.
All right, so But you brought up the bodybuilding. Did you do the nutrition before the bodybuilding?
No.
Okay, so
So I had a
bodybuilding.
coach. My coach is Ariel Alberto Nunez.
Cuts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows who that is.
Yeah, he's the man. He's the
everybody.
GOAT, right? He's
I know
one of
some
the
people
best.
that's he's worked with. So it's just crazy how stuff comes full circle. You start doing the bodybuilding. What was that like for you transitioning from just personal training to making yourself the focal point at that point? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like bodybuilding is so selfish. Like I tell my clients this all the time. I'm like, everything you got going on in your life, the girlfriend, the family, all that.
They take second place.
Take second place.
They have to.
It has to.
The food, just the demand that it puts on you, the mood changes when you're in a deficit.
Yeah.
Just everything that comes with it. But what is this like? What do you remember those early training, regimens being like?
Man, it was for me. I'm so competitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I tell people all the time, I don't really enjoy the winning part of it. I just hate losing.
Right.
Like for me, it's like I hate losing, and if I
That's
get
some
into
Kobe
that,
Bryant shit, right?
I'm telling you, like even gambling. If I gamble and I won, like, I won $500, I'm like, whatever, right?
But if you lose,
if I lose,
your night is shot, bro.
Man,
That's why I
hate
can't gamble, bro. I can't lose $20. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't like
So you do the bodybuilding, the show. You do your first show, right? Your first show you won.
Yes.
Okay, where was that show?
It was in Sacramento.
Okay, so was that the Governor's
Cup.
Governor's Cup? You get your pro card then?
No, so I did 6 shows after that. So I did San Jose, I did Muscle Contact. I was just, at this point, I went through the breaking. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm hurt. I'm not, just not in a good place, like knowing that this girl broke up with me because of money, right? And heartbreak makes you do things that like nothing else in life, it makes you.
It's a different motivation.
It's a different type of motivation.
Completely different.
Yeah. So I was motivated. Every time I'm running, every time I'm on the treadmill, anything I'm doing is like, I'm thinking about her. I'm like, I'm going to show her. I'm going to prove to her, right? The best revenge you can ever have is success. Right?
Everybody knows that.
So for me, it was like, all right, I'm going to prove to her. And I also had something to prove to myself. Like, I did the serving thing and I only did it because I was happy doing it. I liked it. And I was like, I'll be okay later in life. Like, I know what I'm doing right now. And when it's time and I'm ready to let this go, I'm happy right now. I want to be happy. That's the whole point of life, right? Is being happy.
Yeah.
I'll let this go and then God and my life will be in a better place when I'm ready for it to be in a better place.
Right.
But God was like, all right, it's time to move. So let me hurt you. Let me get you to your knees.
Yeah.
Let me show you a little bit of pain so that you can get moving forward.
Some humility.
Yes.
So what was the hardest thing about the show prep? Was it the mental side or the physical side?
Oh, the mental. Like, I think the biggest thing for me was like, I love going to the movies. My boys, I want to go hang out with them. And guess what? They want to go out and they want to start drinking.
Yeah.
Or they want to eat popcorn.
Yeah.
Or they want to do stuff. And now you can't be a part of a lot of that stuff.
Missing out, bro.
And there's always just one shot, right? Like, it's always just one of this or one of that. And you got to constantly be able to say no. Like
Discipline, bro. That discipline and the sacrifice that comes with all of this, bro. And a lot of people are willing to do the sacrifice. So it sounds good. People look for the end result, but they never think about what it takes to get there.
Oh, yeah.
So I want you to tell me, because some years back, a good friend of mine did a bodybuilding show, and I went to it, and this was before I even looked the way that I look now. But they had a segment where they was like killing time.
Yeah.
And they were like, people from the stands, like, y'all want to come on the stage and do guest posing?
No way.
Bro, this dude I was with, my boy Chris, he kind of dared me to do it.
Yeah.
And this is in a auditorium packed. It's full of people. I don't know anybody in there but the people I'm with. I jumped on stage, bro, took my shirt off, I'm posing.
No way. You got video of this?
Yeah, there's video of it. I'll find it and show it to you. But I want you to tell me what it was like for you walking on stage for the first time. Like, were you nervous? Like,
I blacked out.
You did? Because the lights like this is just kind of in your face.
Nothing.
You can't even see the crowd.
No.
But you know they're there because they're making noises.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So what was that like for you, though, walking on stage?
You literally walk out there and it's just like, you can't see nothing. You're blacked out. But your mind, because you've done the posing routine so many times, that it just kind of goes through, what your mind has already been practicing repetitions, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I don't remember any of it. And the craziest part, right, is my very first show, Hani, who is C-Bum's coach, Hani Rambod, he's the Ivigen guy, super famous, the most famous coach in the world, right?
Yeah.
He runs backstage and grabs me and he's like, who's your posing coach? And I'm like, oh, I don't have one. And he's like, yeah, it looks like it. You have the best physique up there. You have an Olympian body and you pose like, right? And he's like, And so he's going after me, and like I'm like, but in a good way, right?
Where's
like
your coach at this time?
Ariel. So
no,
Ariel,
where is he though physically when this is happening?
He's in the stands, right?
Oh, so he doesn't. Okay.
And he only has, he had me for like a day because I couldn't meet up with him. And at that time, this is a little bit farther back. So I didn't have enough time with him. That was more my fault than Ariel. Ariel's a phenomenal coach.
Yeah, this dude's reputation precedes him.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody. And then also on top of this, you were contemplating driving to the show?
Yeah.
No, one of these shows you went to was in San Diego?
The San Diego one.
You were talking about driving down there instead of flying?
Yes. Yes. This is when I started getting good at flying.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll go back and I'll go forward. But with that show, Hani basically told me, like, get yourself a posing coach. Like, you're good at this.
Yeah.
You can go really far. And so at that moment, that was my first show. I was like, all right, you know what? If one of the best coaches in the world saying I'm good, I could probably do pretty good at this. It's
good that you didn't take that as discouraging.
No.
Because a lot of people could have taken it like, oh, shit, but you took that and you ran with it.
Yeah. No, everybody backstage was like, dude, you know who that is? Do you know who that is?
Did you know who it was before that?
I knew a little bit of him. Like, I knew, not at the level that he was, right? And, like, I kind of knew who he was. But I was like, everybody was like, man, Honey talked to you. He said something to you and, this and that and the other. So then I knew, I was like, you know what? If he's saying I look good, all right, let me, like, really, like, double down and get to it. And then a few shows later, I'm getting ready to go to a LA show. It was in LA. And they want me to fly out there. And I'm like, I ain't flying there. I'm still scared of flying at this point, right? I tell my coach, I'm like, I'm a drive.
45 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
50 minutes.
Yeah, but he's like, I'm a drive. He's like, what? You ain't driving? Like, that mess up your body? Like, no, you got to fly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm scared. Like, I need to drink. But now I can't drink because I'm in prep.
Yeah.
So the thing that I used to have as my crutch
is no longer there.
Is no longer there. So I got on that plane. I flew there. I feel like I was so locked in from competing that I wasn't so scared, right? And then I kind of got over it. I started having to fly around. I had to go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to do another show to get my pro card. So I started flying a lot to do shows, and then that kind of got me away from, like, the fear of it. But let me tell you, if you've never flown and you're 28 years old and it's the first time you're flying, all of a sudden when the wheels come down, you're like, oh, what's that, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you turn a little bit and you're like, oh no, like, are we going down, right? Like, you're not used to it. A lot of people fly when they're young, so they're used to like the plane noises and things like that. I wasn't used to none of that.
The turbulence, bro. That shit is still scary now. And I'm 35. It's still scary now. And also, you had to fly before a show. I want to highlight this. So you're going through show prep. You're about to go on stage here soon, and you get a request to train someone, and you have to fly across the country to do it.
Yeah.
So. It was how many days before the show? Like 2 or 3 days before the show?
It was about, my show was on Saturday, and on Monday I had to fly out there. So I had about 5 days, I would say. It was like 5-6 days.
So flying, sorry about that. Flying, it swells your hands up. Like, it didn't alter you on stage at all?
Oh, it did, for sure.
I'm thinking, how did you do in the show?
I did okay. I finished in the middle of the pack against all the pros. So this is my pro show, the last one I did. It was crazy because I had just got the keys to the gym. And then I got a call from Mr. Beast and his team, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to fly out and train Mr. Beast." So I'm like, "All right, cool. Like, this is great. Like,
you can't pass on this one."
I can't pass. Well, I was going to because I was so locked in for the show. It's my pro show, and I have a bunch of friends and family. It's a local show. I got a bunch of people coming, and I already know my coach. There's no way he's going to be like, "Yeah, fly out there."
So you didn't tell him about it.
So. I told him later, but I didn't
tell him.
What
did he say about it after the fact? Was he, like, disappointed?
He's like, I could tell. I seen your body change, and you were holding water, and, like, but he's like, I understand. Ariel's, the like I said, one of the greatest coaches is because of his demeanor and how, like, chill he is, right?
Yeah.
But he was cool about it.
But even the food, so you get out there and then you said something about, like, you ran out of food or something while you were there?
Oh, yeah, but the thing is I went to, like, a Target out there. It's in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So I go to a Target. And, the Targets out here, they all got chicken and they got food.
Yeah.
You go out there, there's no food.
I'm from the South, so it's a little different.
Like, wait, what's going on here? And now I'm, like, trying to look for food. Yeah. And then you lose 3 hours, too. So when you fly an hour to the airport, then you land, and then it's 2 hour drive to get to Mr. Beast, right? Yep. And then once you get to him, you still lost 3 hours. So this whole time, I should be eating every 2-3 hours. And I'm not eating every 2-3 hours.
That's somebody actually is calling me.
Oh, yeah? Who's
one of your friends, Alicia.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Small world.
Yeah, so, man, like, it's crazy. That's funny she calls. She's going to see this and laugh. But I know people that know you.
Yeah.
And everybody says the same thing about you, bro. Everybody says you're a good person.
Yeah.
And outside of everything you have going on, everything we're talking about, hearing about your reputation being a good person is ultimately why I wanted to do this. And truthfully, I can feel it. Like just being around you, you're a good dude. So, after this, talk to me about opening the lab, because apparently this was your second attempt at a gym, right?
Yeah. Well, when I put the bid in at this gym originally, I put the bid in and we didn't get it. So it was right before COVID.
Okay.
So
2019?
yeah. So we put a bid in and basically didn't happen. Then all of a sudden COVID happened. So it was like a blessing in disguise. Because if I would have got the gym, all of a sudden
COVID would have
done.
Man, God was working, bro.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
He was working.
Okay.
So I got lucky with that. And then we put the bid in. So someone put the bid in, they backed out. And then someone put the bid in after COVID. And then they couldn't do it just because COVID was still like kind of creeping and business wasn't doing good. So the offer that they originally gave me basically got cut in half, right? So I'm like, me getting lucky, I missed COVID, and then I got a great deal because it was after COVID.
Okay.
And then finally I got it. And the whole time I was like, if it don't work out, I'm not tripping because I already know, like, if God don't want it to work and he don't want me there, I don't want it. Like,
you're going to keep trying, though, is the thing. Like, you believe that you would have...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
My mindset was, like, I'm coaching all these people. At the time I'm coaching Mr. Beast. I'm coaching Andre Ward. I've got a huge clientele. I'm doing a lot of bodybuilders. I'm doing everybody. Niner cheerleaders, Warrior cheerleaders. Like, I'm coaching a lot of people. But I'm like, I need to get all these people under one roof. I need to get everybody in one place. And I didn't want to coach into my 40s, right? I wanted to have a place that I could bring my family to, go into an office, hang out.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to be at home all the time in my 40s, right? Like, I'm a people person. Like you were saying earlier, you love getting out, you love talking.
Talking to people.
It's hard to put us in a box like that.
So the thing with this is, you said the reason why you started this gym was because you be in Vegas, you be in San Diego, you be in LA, and they got all these nice ass gyms, and then you come back here and you're at 24-hour fitness. Not to shit on 24, because 24 has served its purpose, but it doesn't have the amenities of a gym like you're describing.
Yeah.
So you come back here and you're like, I'm gonna start it here. And you touched on San Ramon, you liking it here, but what research did you do in San Ramon for putting your gym here? Because just because you like it here doesn't mean it's a good place to start a gym.
Yeah. I think the fact that I was going to the San Ramon 24-hour fitness and I knew the clientele already and I knew like this area really well as far as just like, San Ramon is great. Like,
it is nice out here. I like
nice
the city
and I'm
here.
close. So in my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm from Castro Valley, will I drive here? Yeah. If I'm from Livermore, will I drive here? Yeah. If I'm from Dublin. So I kind of did Walnut Creek and we get it from all of those places. We're kind of in the middle of the group of people that I want to coming to the gym, right?
Okay.
So I kind of did my research with that. And I just knew that I was going to be able to get all the people from 24 that I wanted into this gym, right?
Okay.
And not to try to poach or take people from them, because I love 24. They give me I work for them.
Yeah.
It's a great gym. I think they still need to do some stuff and fix some stuff. And it has a purpose. 24 has a very good purpose. There's a lot of younger kids, people that are just starting out. That's a perfect gym for them, right?
I believe so. 24-hour fitness is probably the first major gym chain that I ever went to.
Yeah.
To be honest. So 24, again, it served its purpose. So, you get the gym. I remember early on when I first started seeing you on social media, you said something about having your friends and family help you pick out the equipment that you have in here.
Yeah.
Were you putting up polls? Like, what did you do?
So I have a close friends list, like on Instagram, right? You could put it on the stories. So for me, I'm one of those people, like, I know, like, okay, I like this, this, and this. But it's hard for me to, like, which one do I like the best, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. So I put up 4 different colors for the gym equipment, like white, red, blue, and black.
Okay.
Everybody voted black. So guess what?
We got it's black in here.
Okay.
The wall,
so then I'm like, okay, the equipment's going to be black. Let me see, how can I make it look cool? Oh, how about some chrome plates, right?
Dog.
So I put the chrome plates on there, and that was kind of, one of those things where I'm like, which ones do you guys like, the black plates or the chrome plates? And everybody picked the chrome plates. And that's a lot of what it was. It was just me trying to see what the people wanted, right?
Giving the people what you cannot go wrong.
No.
When you give the people what they want.
Everybody's like, I love the lab, it's great. I'm like, well, they picked it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I look like I'm the genius, and I'm not the genius. It's like, it's God, first of all, right? And then after that, it's all the people around me. It's the people I've surrounded myself with. Like, I'm not the smartest dude. I'm not, You know, like I know the people around me are smart. Even like right now, my business is ran the way it's ran because my brother's on the back side of it and he does all my back end stuff. He's so meticulous with everything he does. Like a card gets swiped and the percentage is too high. He goes and calls and tells them, hey, we need this percentage down. I never would have thought about trying to get the percentage down for that, right?
No, bro, you are smart. You are smart because you understand who's an expert at what you need, and you put them in place, or you allow them to operate, and you trust their expertise. So you have the gym, and then is your brother your partner with this?
He's my partner now. He wasn't my partner
So you had a
originally.
partner before.
Yes.
Okay. What can you say about this person in your life? Like they laid a brick.
As far as my brother?
No, the person that helped you. I guess this is your partner that you started the gym with?
Yeah, I started my gym with a partner, and then he ended up leaving. He has, other things that he wanted to do, and issues and things came up, and basically there was a chance that my brother was like, hey, let me buy the percentage out.
Okay, now I got
I've always wanted it to be my family's business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like my goal ultimately. Mm-hmm. But when you first start out, you got to understand, like, to open a gym like this, like, I don't care how rich you are, you need investors, like, right? And so for me, I had an investor, and I have two. I have two partners, basically, my brother and then somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. And they're still a part of the gym. They help out. One of them is a silent investor. He don't tell me nothing.
Yeah, he just let you do your thing.
And that was the biggest thing for me.
That's really what I should have asked when I asked, because I saw you say something about he was a silent investor. He let you do your thing and trusted that you were going to do the right thing.
Because I had a gym during COVID that I was training with somebody else, or it was his gym. He basically was like, Bobby, I need help. I can't pay rent. Can you come in and help me out? Yeah, no problem. Give me the keys. Tell me how much you want me to pay you, and I'll take care of it.
Okay.
So he gives me the keys. We basically at that time there's no paperwork or anything because it's during COVID, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, he's like, okay, here, this is how much money the rent is. It's like $3,000. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll bring all my people in. During COVID, that whole time, I had people in the gym working out every single day. It was crazy. We were not working out at home. We were working out at this gym. Mm-hmm. But the partner that I had, all of a sudden started seeing I was making a lot of money because everybody's starting to use the gym. Mm-hmm. So he starts raising my rent. Okay. Like, I don't like that. And then
how would he raise it? Was it like how were you paying rent? It was a monthly thing?
Yeah, it was a monthly thing. So I was paying him $3,000. All of a sudden he sees all these people in the gym and they're all my people, my friends,
you guys
family.
had no paperwork.
No paperwork because it's COVID. So then all of a sudden he's like $5,000. And I'm like, all right, okay, no problem, right? I give him $5,000. But now I got my friends, my family, Andre Ward's in there, right? I got everybody working out in there. And now I'm kind of stuck because if I say, no, I'm not going to give you the money, he's going to kick all of us out.
That's bull. I don't like that.
Man, it was bad.
I don't like that kind of stuff.
No.
That's bad business. People like that, I don't know if he's going to see this, but people like that don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
Like that's a bad tale.
But that was God teaching me, hey, paperwork, and on top of that, don't trust everybody. And the thing is like when I wanted to move something, be like, no, we're not moving that. And I'm like, but why? This makes more sense. And so we would have conflict about moving things in the gym. And so I realized, okay, if I open this gym, it's got to be what I say, how I say it, and why I say it, because it's got to be my vision or it doesn't work. When you have two people and both of them have different views, it's just not going to work.
Yeah. So understanding that you've created the lab, and this is just a place where gym goers love going. After, 2 years now you guys been open?
About a year
and a half. What would you rate yourself in doing what you set out to do with this place?
Man, what do I rate myself as far as doing what I'm not close to, like, I'm not there. I'm not still very, like, 3, 4, like.
Yeah.
What I thought it was and what it is totally different, though.
Wait, what did you think it was going to be? I mean,
man, I thought it was going to be easy. I thought you walk into a gym, it's a gym, there's a bunch of equipment, people come in, they use the gym, and they leave. That's it, right? I wasn't thinking about ordering drinks. I wasn't thinking about taxes. I wasn't thinking about... There's so much that goes into a gym. If one thing breaks, right? Guess what? You're getting called. Hey, this isn't broke. Hey, the toilet's not working. I got to come in. Insurance. Someone gets hurt. Someone hits their, some lady was walking and she hit her face on one of the pieces of equipment, right? You're involved. Everything that goes on in this gym, even relationships. When something bad goes on in a relationship, guess what?
People come in here and fight?
No fighting. Never fighting.
No. I mean, like relationships. Boyfriend, girl in here. Disputes.
Oh yeah. It's if they did a Netflix video of this gym in our first year, I swear on anything I love, it would have been sold out. It would have been crazy. Like, we would be super famous. Like, if I told you some of the stories of things that were going on.
How do you handle these things? Like, okay, so you worked at Outback and you were a personal trainer before. You're not a counselor.
No.
How do you know how to deal with these situations?
I honestly didn't deal with it well early on. And then kind of my brother came in, and he was he works for Verizon, right? He's a regional manager. So he goes around and he knows everything. He knows all the HR rules. He's like, Bobby, don't say this. Bobby, don't do that. Like, me, if I want to go get food with one of my friends, I get in the car and I go drive with them somewhere, right? No, you can't do that
no more,
right?
bro.
And for me, we throw parties, Halloween parties and stuff.
Yeah, I saw, dog. The Halloween party was crazy in here. Dog, I've never seen anything like that. But that's just something that's different about this place that I've never seen anywhere else.
Christmas parties, Halloween parties, Friendsgiving. And now I'm drinking with guys, right? All of a sudden you're drinking, and then the next day, you want to tell that person, hey, I need you to help me with this, or I need you to do this. And they're kind of looking at you like...
Because y'all are friends now. That's how you're looking at you, yeah.
Right? And so I had to learn how to create boundaries. I learned how to say, you know what, no to people and understand, like, I want to hook everybody up.
Yeah.
But then I can't run a business. I have friends that I'm trying to hook up and take care of. And then I realize, like, my business is suffering. And my brother sees it all. And he's like, man, you can't keep doing this.
Yeah. All right. So since you just brought up your friends, I want to talk about just the support that you've been getting from people. Your friends and family, man, they've seemingly been, what a friends and family is supposed to be.
Yeah.
They've been a huge support system, and I don't think you're here without them.
No, not even close.
But let's talk about that though, man. The support you get from your friends, like, what can you speak to about that? That's, what about that has been like just so, significant?
I mean, honestly, I would not be here, like, legit. There was times where, and I'm not, I don't pay these guys or nothing. They just come in and they help me out.
Out of love.
Out of straight love. Yeah. Like, when I was trying to move all the equipment in here, I have 9, 10, 15, 20 dudes in here moving stuff for me, right? All these dudes were coming in and helping me move machines and trying to be a part of it, right?
Bro.
It was crazy how much love and support my friends show me, like, every day. Like, I could walk downstairs, and that's why the gym does so well, is like, if a towel's on the ground and it's just a friend of mine, he gonna pick it up and throw it in the garbage. If the bathroom's dirty, I walk into the bathroom and I got a friend cleaning it. He don't even work for me.
He's just doing it.
He's just doing it. So a lot of these dudes, like, as much as I pour into their cups, they pour back into my cups. And now, don't get me wrong, are there some of them that just want to ride the train just because they know it's high and they know that it's gonna take them farther? Yeah, of course, but you gotta be able to kind of feel that out. I feel people's energy really well. And sometimes I know that they're doing it, and I just let them do it. It's like, it's all right. Like,
it takes nothing from you sometimes, too.
Yeah,
so
and I'm just like, I see you. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And then the ones that really do take care of me, and there's a group of them, I do everything I can in my power to make sure that they're successful and they're doing great,
Yeah.
And I have. And I see, like, the cars they drive and the things they're doing now and the money they're making, and I see how happy they are, and that ultimately fills me up.
That's pouring back into your cup.
Yeah.
So the support. There's a downside to that too. There's some people that don't like you, bro.
Of course.
There's some people that does not like the fact that you have this gym. You're out living your life.
Yeah.
What about that? Do you pay that any attention?
Nah, you can't, because the thing is when I was younger, that stuff would have bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it genuinely would hurt me. Like, it really bothered me growing up. I think when we're young, we care so much about what everybody else thinks. But then as you start getting older and you start kind of looking around and you're like, man, Stephen Curry, one of the most solid dudes I ever met in my life, and that dude's hated on. LeBron James. I mean, Drake. I mean, you name it.
Bro, I'm glad you brought him up too.
Like, bro, they hating on everybody. Like, if you get, they love you as you're climbing the ladder, but once you get to the top,
they don't want you there.
They don't want you there no more.
So the thing with the haters, bro, you have made yourself somebody that's quote unquote easy to love.
Yeah.
So it's like you give so much love, and it's still some people who you highlight insecurities within them. They see insecurities within themselves, and then they get mad at you for highlighting it.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I know you deal with that. I can tell you deal with that.
100%, man.
So I can tell you deal with that.
Well, like, perfect example, you tell a guy, right, like, for example, like, hey, the membership is this much, right? And then they don't want to pay that price. They're like, well, I pay this at 24. Why shouldn't I be able to pay that?
This isn't 24.
This isn't 24. And it's like, I got to run a business, right? Yeah. And they want that handout, that friendship. Now all of a sudden they're at 24 telling everybody they don't like you.
Yep.
It's like, wait, how? Like, dog, I got to run a business.
That's textbook insecure, man.
Yeah, and it's a lot of that stuff goes on. I hear stuff and I'm like, man, even do that, but okay, whatever. Because the people around me, my brother, my family, all my friends, the people close to me, they know who I am. And that's all that really truly matters, right?
Yeah.
There's people that never met me a day in their life and they just don't like me
They
because...
have so much to say about you.
Of course.
Crazy.
And it's okay though, because you know what? They're allowed to have an opinion about me. But most of the time, when they meet me, they're like, oh shoot, you're not what I heard this about you, but this is how you really are.
Dog, that's honestly been my life.
Yeah.
Not even trying to be funny. That's been my life. There's so many people that have an opinion about me, never even had a conversation with me.
Yeah, but why though, bro? You're a good-looking dude.
I sure appreciate
you talk
it.
well. You're in great shape.
There's
a lot to hate. There's a lot to hate, right?
Appreciate it.
So that's how you got to think about it. It's like, why are they hating on me? Why do they not like me?
Yeah.
You know, and I used to hear that, and it made me cringe back in the day when people were like, I got haters. And I'm like, man, who are you to say you got haters?
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't understand.
You do.
Like, there's people out there that just don't like you because other people love you.
Yeah.
And other people show you respect and they rock with you, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be able, and I truly believe this, God will only keep moving you up the ladder for as far and how much hate you can take. Like, if you can't handle it and he sees you can't handle it, he ain't going to give you no more. You're not going to put nothing else on your plate because he sees, like, all right, he's struggling with this hate. But LeBron and these guys, Taylor Swift, I mean, can you imagine every time they go to a comment section and they're reading stuff, stuff that's said about them?
Especially Drake right now.
Yeah, like, imagine what that dude for 10 years ran the industry, put great music out. We all at the clubs, you know, vibing to him. And then all of a sudden, you know, you got Kendrick, and Kendrick beat him and smoked him. And we get that, and that's great. But don't forget what Drake did.
That's how quick people are to forget what you've done.
Yes.
I want to ask you a question before we get off the lab. What would you say to a gym goer who's intimidated to walk in those doors? Because we see who works out in here and what it's like in here.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody that's intimidated to come in here?
Man, I think that's right now the biggest thing I'm struggling with. Right now, like, as far as like, I hear people all the time like, no, I can't go in there. There's too many good looking people. Everybody's in shape. Yeah. It's a bodybuilding gym, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, dude, it's not like that at all. Yeah. You have to understand. The influencers, the people that like recording, those are the people who are posting, and those are the people I have to like basically repost, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of dads, moms,
I've seen a lot of people in the parking lot that's not those influencers just walking in and out of here. So
all the time we're a regular gym like every other gym. The only difference is we got a lot of people that like to record and post. People at 24, they don't want to record and post. People at Equinox are not even allowed to repost, right?
Yeah.
So you're not seeing their demographic. Our demographic you're seeing is only because they love to do all the... a lot of them are here because they want to post, right?
Yeah.
They love it. It's a social media gym for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's what they're seeing. But the reality of it is I got dads in here. I got all types of people, Danville moms. And when you walk in here and you realize what it really is, you're like, oh man, I'm so glad I walked in there. I tell people all the time, just come in and do a day pass. And I guarantee you, whatever you thought and whatever you saw on social media, it's going to switch your mindset.
Correct. Oh, and then I had this one. How did you go about picking your personal trainers?
So for me, I recruited a lot of them, right? So like I go to gyms and I see, you know, and I worked with a lot of them. So I worked at 24, so I worked with a bunch of them. Then I had that Cooper's gym. Okay. So I had a bunch of them over there when I had that gym. And like, you know, I've always bounced around gyms because I'm one of those guys, I love the gym. I want to try every machine.
Different gyms, yep.
See how it is. And you kind of talk to them, you see how they are, you see their energy, and you see their clientele, how they train. And then from there, you know, like a lot of them follow each other too, right? So then you see their content, you see how they train. And for me, I could look at someone and be like, oh yeah, this is a good trainer. Like he's really taking care of his, he's not on his phone, right? He actually looks the part, right? He's done his studying. He's really about this life. And that's the type of trainers I have. I will put my trainers against anybody, anywhere in California. Like I'm sure out in the world there's other trainers, but here in California, I have the best trainers. And I know I do. Between IFBB pros, national competitors. Yes, we have the bodybuilding, but we have guys like JoJo who he had the Saints first round draft pick a couple days ago in here. He's working with Nasib right now, who's a place for the Bears. He's worked with Andre Ward. He's worked with all types of guys. He works with a lot of NFL, NBA guys. We have the best staff there is. Period.
I met JoJo. Man, I'm sitting here chilling. We're setting up. I hear somebody's voice, and I don't know who it is. I just hear a lot of energy from out the door.
Oh, yeah.
He comes in here and speaks to everybody in here, dapped me up. My boy Danny and his little brother. Dapped him up. And then I went in there and introduced myself to him formally, told him who I was and what I did, and he may sit down on the pod.
Bro, so get him on the pod. He's great.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
JoJo is one of the nicest, if not the nicest person I've ever met in my life. Like, he's right there. He's at the top. Like I have like a top 3. He's in my top 3. He's
That's
just
wild.
such a good human being. I kid you not, I'm getting cut today by my barber, and somehow he got brought up, and I was just talking about how like, you know, I never have to worry about him as a trainer. Like he comes in, he does his job, he puts his stuff away. If I do have like a critique or something to tell him, he's like, okay, no problem. And then the next day, I don't got to worry about it.
Dude's high energy, man.
He has such good energy.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy because he's a morning guy and I'm not.
Yeah.
And he's here every morning and he takes care of my mornings. He's the leader in here. And so everybody looks up to him, you know, just an amazing, amazing human being.
Bro, so something else I wanted to talk to you about, goals, man. So once you complete a goal, how long on average would you say you sit with this goal before you create another one?
Man, I feel like, as soon as you're like, I'm like right now I have the gym and I know I have a lot still to do here. I probably have another 3-4 months to get some city stuff done. I want to put the sign outside. We want to put the top on. I just have a couple more permits and things I need to get done.
The top on the
outside. I want to put like a nice
Okay.
little cover out there and then put some lights out there. I kind of want to just make it so year round people can go
Be
outside.
Okay.
So that's my goal right now. As soon as I'm done with that, I'm opening up another one. Like I'm ready to open
another gym?
That's my 100%.
Have you already started scouting locations?
Everything. Not locations. I'm talking about how I want to do it.
Okay.
I have ideas I want to put. And my thing is like I could talk about this because I used to be scared. Like if I tell my ideas,
it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, or someone's gonna steal my ideas.
Hey, that can't be you though.
But exactly,
It can't be you.
So I have these ideas that I want to do. Like right now, Pilates is like really hot.
Bro, please do it. Do it.
I want to have a Pilates studio, right?
You have some Pilates haters that's like, oh, he's coming into this space.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have somebody who does Pilates and basically put them into my space, right?
I love it.
Yes. I'm not gonna run the Pilates stuff.
Yeah.
That's them. I'm gonna let them do it. But I'm gonna have my gym is gonna have that.
Yeah.
Golfing is super huge right now, right?
Yeah.
My ex's dad was a big golfer. I've been around golf.
Wait, the ex that broke up with you when you were 28?
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
So her dad was a golfer, and basically she, he golfed a lot, and I was around golf, so I understand golf, and I understand there's a lot of money in it, and a lot of people that really genuinely
Rich people
love
play
it.
golf, bro.
So that they have these projection screens now, right? And I want to set up a room where there's just projection screens.
Oh, when you do the tee, like you, okay,
right?
Hell yeah.
Then you walk in, and guess what? You hungry? All right, before you're done, we're going to cook you all your food. We're going to have a little juice area. We're going to make sure that when you come in, you want your pre-workout, stuff like that. Cool, you can have that. When you leave, we'll have food ready for you fresh, right? So this is like a nice little area for that.
Damn.
And then, of course, I want to add the lockers, the showers, the pool.
Sauna.
The sauna.
Okay.
Like, not just the sauna, but a whole area where it's just physical therapy stuff, right?
Hell yeah.
So you're able to go in there and do all your physical therapy
Hell yeah.
stuff. Ping pong table, pool table, arcades. Like, I want you to be able to, a salon, right? Like a place where you can get your haircut. So you walk in and maybe your barber, you set up with them every 2 weeks, but you're like, I'm going out tonight. I got to look fresh for tonight. But I don't got time. So let me just get my workout in real quick. And I'll walk in there and get cut up real quick.
Convenience. I got
right?
you.
And so California has it, but the Bay Area, we don't have nothing like that. There's one in Texas, right? Alpha Land or
Alpha Land, the one in Houston, yeah.
And they have something like that. So I'm like, all right, we did this gym. This gym's great, but let's take it up to the next level, right?
So are you going to? Have you been to Alpha Land?
I haven't been there, but I've seen all the videos. I've seen the tours. I see all the money and how he generates and everything about it. I know you can ask me a question. It's 3 different gyms.
Research.
I've done my research on it.
Okay.
And I've done my research on all the other gyms and what's opening up and how they look. But I know for a fact, like this gym that I open up, the next one, there's nothing going to be like it. At least not in California.
Out here. So
like
there's
not
no,
here.
yeah, okay. Okay, so these are the goals. So you're somebody who's like, all right, I did this. Now what?
Yeah.
Now what?
Can't stop.
It never feels like it's enough. You're going to keep running.
Never.
So I know you brought up your brother earlier. Somebody holds you accountable.
Yeah.
How do you feel like just your circle outside of your brother? Because I know he does. He's your partner. How does your circle hold you accountable when you fucking up? Like they tell you, Bobby, like it's not cool, bro.
Oh yeah. No, they definitely tell me. They're not shy. Like the people around me, they know. Like I tell them to be like, you have to have a certain type of ego to not be able to take constructive criticism from your friends, right? Like for
these
me,
people love you.
Yeah, but also you don't want to be that person that like, man, why are you telling me that? That's ego. That's like who was it? It was Khabib, I think, was telling me that. He's like, if people around you are scared to tell you that you did something wrong, that's just because you make them fear you. And something that Andre and Deontay tell me all the time, they're like my mentors. They tell me all the time, you don't want people to fear you. You want them to respect you. There's a big difference.
A big difference. And people construe that all the time. So
and early on, I'm not going to lie.
that.
Early on, when I had the gym opened, I think a lot of people feared me, right? Like if I'm not cool with him, then he's not going to talk to me, or he's not going to like help me out, or he not gonna, like I could see how like you could be fearful of someone who owns the gym, right?
Right.
You have a lot of people around you, and you kind of want to be attached to that person, or you want to be cool with that person. But all of a sudden, if they don't do what I tell them to do, now they're like, oh, I didn't do this, and now he might do this to me.
At the door.
Okay. You could check the door and see.
They just shut it.
Yeah, just tell them.
Okay, but yeah. So, but what were you saying, bro? It's cool.
Is it?
You were saying something about the people around you being able to tell you, say Andre and your boy Deontay.
Yeah, Deontay. Yeah. So they're my mentors, right? And they tell me basically like, you can't have people fear you, right? Like they got to respect you. And early on, people I feel like did fear me, and I was like, what? Seriously?
How do you navigate that? Do you go to them and tell them, hey, bro, it doesn't have to be like this, or do you wait for them to figure out that they don't have to be that way?
I think it's how you act, right? And you let them know like it's okay, like. Don't, like, I'm not going to punish you guys, kind of like letting them know, like, I'm not going to do anything to mess up with your money or hurt you or do anything. Like, don't be fearful. I think it's just energy and how you act, right? And so for me, I do feel like a part of it, I was the problem, right? A part of it was, I didn't know that I was doing that, right? I didn't know. And they're the ones telling me, and that's who keeps me in check.
Yeah.
Dre's like, bro, I see it all the time. I'm like, wow, what are you talking? Give me an example, right? He's like, when you do this. And I'm like, oh, dang. Okay. Right. So it's not like I'm doing it on purpose. Right. But then once he pointed it out and said, look what you said to this guy. You said this about him. You know how that could hurt him?
Damn.
I'm like,
bro, that's crazy. You know what, man, the more you talk, I hear a lot of traits that I have, that we share these traits. I'm someone that if I'm wrong, show me.
Yeah.
You can't just tell me I'm wrong. No. Because if you can't show me where I'm wrong, how can I make an adjustment? So when you show me where I'm wrong, I'm not going to argue logic at that point. We can argue opinions all day, but when you show me something logical, fact-based, now, all right, okay. So now you feel like this is something, and I brought this up earlier. So you went to Outback to get these people skills.
Yeah.
You did the 24-hour fitness to get your foundation in fitness, and now you turn it into this full person, this whole person concept that you have here. Yeah. Even with talking about the goals, with the barbershop and the Pilates, like this total person. Now, bro, I feel like you're about to ascend to a different version of yourself coming up with this next gym. Yeah. Because now you put everything together.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about, bro. Bro, you're super inspiring. I believe that anybody that listens to parts of your story will be inspired. You have an abundant mindset, bro.
I appreciate that.
Bobby, bro, I appreciate you for sitting down with me, but I want to give you something before I go. So about a year ago, I read this book. I would suggest you read it on a flight if you take a flight.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about reading, but this book kind of helped shift my mindset. A lot of things that I had already done, I found it in the book as I was reading it, but I feel like this book kind of helped me put it together.
Yeah.
Like I'm serious, bro. Yeah. This is a powerful book.
I'll read it, I swear.
This is a powerful book. Yeah. It's called The Go-Giver. It's just gonna help you. You have a lot of these traits already, bro. Like just who you are as a person, dog. You feel like such a genuine soul.
Yeah.
And I feel like that book would be dope for you.
Nah, I'm gonna read it for sure, and I appreciate it. And like I said, like I'm trying to constantly become a better person. Like,
nah, bro.
And like, that's my main thing is I'm not in finished product. Like I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly trying to self-evaluate. I'm trying to be a better person. Like you were saying earlier, there's some people that hate me and this and that and the other. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, if I knew that I was hurting you, I did something bad, I'm not purposely doing it, right? And if you heard something about me, it's not like I'm malicious with it, right? It's just because I'm naive or, I grew up in a toxic family or something along my path made me that way. But I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to make enemies with anybody. All I'm trying to do is live a better life. That's it.
Oh, wait, you just made me think of something. So since we've been here talking, I've been asking you about what you're gonna do, goals, such and such. Nothing I heard was personal growth. What are you doing to grow personally as Bobby, like beyond the gym and beyond everything else?
Church, man.
Church. So
I've
your
been going to church.
Spirituality.
My spirituality. Like I've been going to church consistently. It's crazy because when I first went in, it was just me by myself. And I was going in and, you know, like Dre and Deontay and a bunch of the guys, Bips, a lot of them that go to church and stuff. But I've always believed in God, but I never like actually went to church.
Practice.
I never practiced it, right? And they never told me. That was the best thing. That's the thing I loved about them so much is they never pushed it on me. Dre was never like, you know, and Dre understands he's my mentor, he's someone I look up to, but he never was like, go to church, you need to go to church. You know, they didn't push the religion on me and none of that stuff. I just saw how they acted. I saw how they carried themselves. And I was like, man, I'm trying to be like that. I'm trying to walk like how these guys are walking, right? And then I started going to church. And since I've gone, you know, I'm constantly trying to become better. And it's not like it's like working out. I tell people all the time, you don't just get at the gym and all of a sudden you just buff day one.
Yeah.
You got to learn from the ground up.
You got to work
the same thing when I go to church every day. I'm trying to get better at it, learn more, get in the book more, you know, listen to the word, things like that to get better and be a better person so that I could be able to run a gym like this and do it a way where it's respectable. People can look at the gym and go, you know what, it's ran the right way. There isn't favoritism. There isn't none of that stuff, right? He's just trying to run a good business and he's trying to do it the right way. And I think church has definitely helped me because with all the stress that I have every day, and there's a lot that goes into it, when I go to on Sunday, it like resets me. It's like, okay, I see why I'm doing this. You know, I'm doing it to you know, keep showing light that, you know, God is so good and he's done so much for me. But B, give all these people that come into this gym a great environment and be happy. Because that's what ultimately what fitness should be is you should be able to go somewhere and be like, man, I genuinely like working out.
Right. Yeah. This doesn't feel like work.
No.
This doesn't feel like work.
I want them to come in here and be like, man, I love working out.
Love being in here.
I got to go to the gym. I got to put up with these little kids.
Yeah.
The bathroom smell, this, that, the other, right? I want to give them something that can actually be like, man, I really enjoy this.
Bro, solid dude, bro. I appreciate you, Bobby.
Of course, man. This is a great interview.
Bro.
Thank you so much.
You.
For real, though.
Yes, sir.